My name is Cindy, and I wanted to confess here something very selfish that I did a while ago, the consequences of which I still face today. I've always been a good girl. Since I was little, I never gave my parents too much trouble. I come from a small family, and I'm an only child. My parents always gave me everything I wanted and everything they could buy too. Who knows what I did wasn't their fault. Poor too, they did everything to raise me and satiate all my desires since forever for me to ruin my life at the beginning of the adult phase. I will tell you the reason that made me write this letter, and that is the main reason for my lamentations. It all started in high school. I attended one of the best schools in my city. There I naturally became popular, because in addition to being very beautiful, I also think I'm super cool, and the people around me do too. So I was soon on the leadership team cheering for the high school football team. It was really good to join that cheerleading club. I felt amazing. All the boys wanted to date me. I had even hooked up with a few, but then I fell in love with the team captain. His name was Frank. He was tall, strong, and very handsome. All the girls at school were into him, and I was no different. I couldn't see him falling for me, until one day he asked me to go to the movies with him, and I of course accepted. At the cinema we spent the whole movie kissing, and after that we didn't break up anymore. At school everyone found out that we were dating, and it all started very quickly. I was completely in love with Frank, and for me nothing else in the world mattered except that love I was feeling. It was different, you know. I felt complete, something I never felt in my life, even having everything. But it's not all roses. Frank was very popular, so he had a lot of friends, and female friends too, and it drove me crazy. I couldn't deal with having to share his attention with other people. I know that's weird, but that was exactly how I saw things. Frank was in love with me too, but my jealousy ended up making us fight, and as the days went by we started to fight a lot. I couldn't deal with the fact that he had so many friends, and even more so, for me a guy dating has to put himself in his place and not be friends with women out there, and he didn't like that at all. Frank was a very popular guy, and he liked his popularity. Today I see that he was happy that way. Too bad I went too far. A new girl entered the school. She was extremely beautiful and soon became very popular. The girls in the crowd soon invited her to participate, and I didn't like that at all, but I had to accept it because I didn't rule the club as I would like. So the girl accepted the invitation and started to participate in the group. I was against it from the beginning, so I didn't pay much attention to her. The girls said that I was jealous. That made me offended because I didn't think I felt that way. The new girl's name was Linda, and she was good at everything she did, including doing stunts that we wouldn't even dream of doing, and I noticed that got Frank's attention. I noticed he was looking at her too much, looking more than he was looking at me, and pretty soon it made me jealous. I really went crazy. I went to talk to him about it, and he said I was going crazy and that it had nothing to do with it. But as the days went by, I noticed them getting closer, and when I was going to say something about it, Frank said that they were just friends, and that he was trying to be nice to the new girl. You know when you don't believe what the person says, then. Time continued to pass in Frank, and I started to move away slightly. He hardly had any more time for me, and soon I found it very strange. Soon my head began to concoct a plan. I began to imagine him together with Linda, and that boiled me in hate. That could only be it. There was no other reason why he was changing me like that, and for me that man was my life. Nothing else mattered to me but him. I dreamed of marrying him, having children, living together forever. Just thinking about him with another woman, it hurt me. I hadn't noticed anymore my obsession with Frank had become crazy. I remember the last time I talked to him, it was on the phone. We had spent the whole weekend without seeing each other, and I had sent him a message. He said that he needed space and that everything was fine. For me to be calm, he asked if I would go to school on Monday, and I lied saying no. He said that I had the flu and wouldn't go to school for the rest of the week. He lied and showed up there on Tuesday with my dad's car. And that's when I saw, at that moment my world fell apart. I saw Linda and Frank hugging each other, kissing. I was right after all, and they were together. I knew. Then the bell rang and they went upstairs. I stayed outside crying in the car until they left class. At that moment they were walking hand in hand. In a fit of madness I accelerated my father's car and ran over the two. I didn't think about what I did. I just did it. Frank died instantly. The wheel crushed his head, and Linda lost an arm from the elbow down. I was arrested red-handed. After having killed Frank, I didn't believe it. I did it without thinking, in a fit. I didn't think the consequences would be so heavy. I was tried and sentenced to life imprisonment. I ended my life and my parents, like young Frank too. I tried to ask his parents for forgiveness, but they didn't even want to look at me. They just cursed me with contempt. I feel sorry of my mom and dad who gave me everything and I screwed up. To this day I dream of Frank and remember our moments together. Sometimes when I'm alone I seem to see him around here, walking through the halls and watching me mainly. I get scared. The later I remember what I did and I feel sorry for him, a lifetime entire front that I destroyed. Unfortunately, if regret could kill I would already be dead along with Frank.